Hi, my name is Destiny Bell, and I am presenting my book review on Fangirl by Rainbow Roywell. Okay, so I'm just gonna dive right into this.
This international.
There was a boy in her room. It's the first line in the book, and basically, Kat was a private, non-social person starting college. It could possibly most, could possibly be one of the most challenging things that she's done, because she's so distant from people. Rainbow Roywell's Fangirl captivated me from its ability to make it relate to me. I could relate to it, so it made it easier for me to want to read and for me to follow along and to understand. The book focuses on struggles that Kat faces daily. Um, it's based on her learning to overcome her fear, which I would say is one of the main themes in the book, is her overcoming her fear of opening up to people. The book provides a lot of imagery. The imagery for me makes it easier to follow along and to stay interested. When I read it, I felt as if I was there. For example, but the hallway was practically a meet and greet. Every door was propped open but theirs. Girls were milling around, talking and laughing. The whole floor smelled like burnt popcorn. Kath slipped into the bathroom and sat in one of the stalls, unwrapping her protein bar and letting nervous tears dribble down her cheeks. When I read that, I felt as though I was walking down the hallway with her, as I sat in the stall with her, as if I were her. It wasn't even that it was really detailed, it's just, it was relatable, and because it was slightly detailed, I could see it. It appealed to my senses. But enough about style thing. We're gonna go ahead and get into the good stuff now. The characters. Well, only a brief description of all the characters. There's Cather, but everyone calls her Kath because she just prefers that. And she's like your nerd. She's obsessed with a fictional character, Simon Snow, who she happens to be writing the fan fiction about the entire book. So as you see this grow, you see her fan fiction grow, and the initial twin sister Rin, quite the opposite, a social butterfly, bit of a party girl. She is a Simon Snow fan as well, but not as much as Kat. And there's Reagan. Reagan is Kat's roommate. She's like basically the roommate nobody really wants, but the roommate everybody wants. The one that's not really there, but they're there. Like, she's out partying a lot, but when she is there, she's there. It's kind of like a pity friend for Kat. The way that the characters vary in personality makes it seem more realistic. Because when you see a group of friends, they don't all have type A personalities, or type B is type A, B, C, D, and everything in between in their small circle. And I can just relate to what the characters go through. For example, God, she thought, God, okay, this isn't that bad. There's actually nothing wrong. Actually, what's wrong? Kat, nothing. When I read this and I realized Kat was talking to herself, I can relate because I do it a lot. When I feel as though I really messed up, which is what she felt is if happened, because she just met her roommate and it was an awkward interaction between the two of them. The connection with Kat as I read that, and I felt as if I was in that stall with her, going through the same emotions as her. The other characters are more social than Kat, so they spend most of their time, out partying while she's writing her fan fiction about Simon Snow. So, yeah. The setting of the book, I think, is what seems the most realistic. I read and I can't help but feel as if I'm there. Gather didn't wake up when the door swung open, but she jumped when it slammed closed. That's when she felt Levi sprawled out beneath her, the warm scape of his chin against her forehead. Then she woke up. Reagan was standing at the end of Kat's bed, staring at them. She was still wearing last night's jeans, and her silvery blue eyeshadow had drifted onto her cheek. When I read that, I felt the awkwardness that filled the room. Kat is in bed with this guy who she believes is Reagan's boyfriend. So, I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, girl, ooh, you done messed up. Fangirl is about Kath growing as a person. From the first chapter to the last, you see changes in all the characters. Some start on a positive note and don't end on that same note. But some start like Kath on the negative side, not wanting to let people in and all that, and end up blossoming into someone that's actually a really nice person. Fangirl is not similar to any books I've read, however. And it doesn't really relate to any current events or issues happening right now that I'm aware of, so it relates to me. I relate to it on a personal level because, much like Cav, I prefer to just not interact with people and stay himself, writing sometimes. But I understand where she's coming from. Like, you don't want to let people in because you get hurt, and that's what happened to her. So she didn't want to be hurt again. With Fangirl in connection to how to read literature like a professor, the 5 chapters that stood out to me were Every Trip is a Quest, Geography Matters, So Does Seasons, Marked for Greatness, and Is He Serious and Other Ironies. I felt as though it related to Every Trip is a Quest because Kath goes to college to learn and become a better writer, but while there, she becomes a better person all around. So she went there on one goal, but left with the real goal, which was to become less attached to her sister and be more open to everyone else. Geography matters because home is very important to Kat, and it's one of the few places she can write freely and feel it. It just flows through her. And her location really affects her ability to write this fan fiction that she cares so passionately about. Which, if she can write her fan fiction, it makes her seem like she's failing her fans that care about her fan fiction, and she feels as though she's failing herself. So, I chose So Does Seasons because the book is divided into 2 major sections with chapters in between, but the 2 major sections are the spring semester and the fall semester. And during the spring semester, she's still reserved and shy. But as the school year progresses and the fall semester approaches, she becomes, more open to things and trying new things, and she's just better. By the end of the spring semester, she is a totally different person than what she came in fall semester. She was marked for greatness because she doesn't have a physical imperfection, but she has a social one. And I feel like if your social or physical isn't the same, then it's going to create friction in your life. And Kath struggles with being normal in the terms of everyone else. She's socially awkward. She can't help it. And her writing makes her seem less awkward because she can live through her writing. Somewhat. Not really. I chose Is He Serious and Other Ironies because Kath was looked upon before she got to college as an immature one and just childish in terms of her sister because of her obsession with Simon Snow. But as the book continues, you can see that her sister's really the immature one. I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't tell you all what her sister does, but her sister proves to be immature. And I think that's ironic because everyone looked at Kath as being the immature one. Really, Ren is just childish, immature, not really mentally there. It could have something to do with their childhood, but no, it is what it is. That's it for my book review. I just need to make my recommendation. I do recommend this book to anyone who likes to read and those who feel as though they can relate to Kath because I love the book. But as far as the age requirement, I would say 16 to maybe 21 because anything under 16 is the language is a little too loaded, a lot of loaded language and a lot of vulgar language. And for anyone over 21, they just might not care what this young child is doing with her life. So, but that's it. I'm signing off.